Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Florence. I want to talk about the news that is coming out regarding Fenty Fashion House and the fact that they are closing their doors indefinitely due to, well, partly due to the pandemic, but also due to the fact that they are having a difficult time basically putting their roots into the ground. And I think it's more of the latter than it is of the former. And I'm going to explain why I said that. So, Fenty Fashion House is one of Rihanna's brands and part of the collaboration that she has with LVMH. LVMH has been around for a long time. They're very well known. They're based in Paris and they deal in luxury goods. So Rihanna has Fashion House. This is in addition to her Fenty beauty brand. She also has Fenty Skin and she has Savage X Fenty. So Fenty Fashion House is not doing too well ever since the pandemic started. This may be partly due to the fact that there's been no travel allowed recently. So according to the news that broke, Rihanna is having a difficult time working with the brand as well as she would like to because of the travel ban that went on in 2020, and just because of the pandemic in general, it just made working on the brand more difficult. Ever since Fenty Fashion House launched, they've actually been having problem putting their roots down. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it is because of the style of clothing or if it's the price points of the clothing. It is a luxury fashion brand. That is how it was designed to be, luxury fashion brand. So it's not expected to be low cost. So I'm not sure what it is exactly. However, I do have my opinion on what I think the problem might be. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure that what I'm going to say is correct. I have not spoken to any of the people involved, so this is just my opinion. So I'm not surprised, honestly, that Rihanna is putting a pause on her Fenty Fashion House. I did not know which one of her businesses exactly was going to suffer, but I knew at least one of them was going to suffer sooner or later. And it's for the simple reason that she expanded very, very fast. Rihanna started her brand, Fenty Beauty. She started small, but then it exploded. Fenty Beauty and Savage X Fenty are her two most successful brands. Her brand actually earned over $100 million within a few weeks of opening, and it was very successful. The Fenty brand has been very successful, and not long after she launched Fenty Fashion House, she got an award. She received the Urban Luxe Award. It was given to her at the British Fashion Awards, and she was very excited. It was a very exciting thing, very few people of her caliber and race have made it as far as she has, as far as her brands, and all her brands are doing well. But it is only normal that when you grow this fast and expand this quickly, one of your brands is going to suffer. Expanding too quickly can be a problem for many different reasons. For some people, it's because they do not have the funds to keep up and to continue to grow. But obviously that was not the problem with Rihanna. I don't think it was finances. I just think that she did not really take the time to plan on who the brand was meant to target. If you look at her Fenty Beauty, for instance, the makeup is very multicultural. It's very, very inclusive, and it's very obvious that it's meant to be inclusive. So that was for everyone. And then her Savage X Fenty is obviously for bigger girls. Not just for bigger girls, but it's very focused on people feeling confident in their bodies, and almost everyone can relate to that. Almost everyone can wear it. Not just for women. I said for women earlier, but it's not just for women. Anyone who can identify with the message behind the products and the brand can wear Savage X Fenty. Fenty Skin is also another brand. That's also one of her very successful brands, actually. The launch was very, very successful for Fenty Skin. That is obviously for people who want beautiful skin and, skincare. Anyone can relate to that. But when you come to the Fenty Fashion House, you're left scratching your head like, this is for very, very, very specific types of people. It's not for everyone. It's not for the majority of people. It's not for the everyday person. And I feel as though if that weren't the case, her brand would have been a little bit more successful. The Fenty Fashion House would have been more successful. But that is the problem when fashion is too specific to a particular type of people. And it basically, no matter how much people want to support the brand or how much they love the products, if it is not something they normally wear, they're just not going to purchase it, especially since it costs so much money. This reminds me of House of DEREON, which was Beyonce and Tina's brand. It suffered the same fate, but for a different reason. The House of DEREON was not specific at all. It was very all over the place, and you just could not tell who it was for. So even though it was more aimed at everyone, it still kind of left you wondering who it was targeting. And it's looking at the clothes, it's kind of like opening someone's junk drawer full of random stuff, and you just don't know where to begin, and all you want to do is just close it and walk away. And yeah, so it was just all over the place, but it was not focused either. Her clothing this time with Adidas were sneakers and joggers and things that anybody can wear, and it was very successful. And I don't think it's because she partnered with Adidas. I think it's the style of clothing that she decided to go with. The style was more focused, and it's obvious who the styles were targeting. While in this case, Fenty Fashion House was too specific, and it still left you scratching your head wondering if it was meant for you or not. So I guess the key is to find a middle ground and not go to either extremes, and that might be the sweet spot for this kind of a business. I think this is one of the problems with Fenty Fashion House. I think that the clothes are way too specific. The pieces are very beautiful, especially her shoes. The shoes are cute, but the actual clothing, a lot of them are not the most relatable kinds of clothes, and that may have hurt her. And I think that if she had had more time, if she had taken more time on Fenty Fashion House, she would have gradually eased up on how specific the style of clothing she's putting out is. And the pandemic definitely played a role, like they said, but a lot of things is going to be blamed on the pandemic. I don't think the pandemic is the number one reason. I think that she just expanded too quickly, and she did not really take the time with this particular Fenty Fashion House to really nurture it in order to warm people up to it. And it kind of hit at a bad time. So, the economy and people are not quite where they want to be financially. So it is bad timing. So she's putting the brand on pause indefinitely. And you know what? If that's the best thing to do, then that's the best thing to do. Her other brands are doing really well, anyways. And I think that it is very demanding for her to have all of these brands going on at the same time. It's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. I don't think she's as hands off as some people are with their brands. I think she's more involved. And you can only be so involved with many different things before you tap out on resources. And there's a lot of things that demand her attention, so it's no surprise that one of her brands is suffering. But hopefully she would be able to get it back on its feet. I don't know if she's closing her doors permanently to this brand and does not want to say that, and she kind of just wants to ease people into the fact that she won't be pursuing it anymore. I'm not sure, but as far as the news that we're getting, it is that she is putting it on pause indefinitely. It is pretty obvious that they've been having problems for a while and have been contemplating on whether or not they should keep it going, because they were not really promoting the Fenty fashion house as much as her skin and makeup line and her lingerie line, and the promotions were very scant. The last major promotion that I noticed was a couple months back. And so I think they've been thinking about this for a while, and they decided to just pull the plug on it for now. And I think that there's a high chance that she would be coming back with this, but she'll be more tentative when she comes back, and she'll make some changes. I really believe that she would make some changes on some of the articles of clothing that she has, and kind of dial back a little bit on the eccentricity of the styles that she's going with, because most people just do not have that style. The shoes, yes, but the clothing is just very unique pieces, and perhaps she might decide to add some more contemporary pieces in there that people can wear to work and wear out and just be comfortable in, not something that you're gonna wear that's going to be luxurious but uncomfortable. And yeah, I hope she brings it back. Yeah, so there's a possibility that it will be returning. We're not sure. But yeah, that's all on this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.